Hey guys, it's Drabble here, and welcome back to Phoenix Wright's Ace Attorney, where we are about to start Turnabout Beginnings. And from what I've seen, this is a short case. As you can see, we're starting on the trial portion, and I'm hoping we get to learn more about Edgeworth. And since these usually start off with a cutscene, let's go in. I was out of the window. The girl. Let her go. Are we sure this isn't a movie? Shut up. Come closer. And I'll kill her. So I'm gonna guess this is the bad guy. Sorry, but you're not gonna get the chance. And I guess the cop. I'm hoping that was the bad guy. I really do hope. Okay, so I was watching a movie. Maybe. I'm reading through the file of an old court case. It was the first case of my longtime mentor, Mia Fey. Fugitive data. Name, Terry Falls. Charged kidnapping, murder, sentence death penalty. Fugitive movements. After escaping, Falls met with and then murdered Sergeant Valerie Hawthorne, recaptured on Eagle Mountain about 8 hours after his escape. Her very first client was a death row inmate who had recently broken out of prison. That was a whole year before Mia and I ever met. "6 years earlier, Mia Fey, first trial." Is it against Miles? Because he was in the screen when this case unlocked. February 16th. Ugh, I'm so nervous. I feel like I'm going to die. I should never accept this case. Eek! Good morning. Don't be so jumping, Mia. I didn't do nothing. I swear, I didn't kill nobody. Terry Falls, my first client. Ooh, I thought I had to sneeze. Sentenced to death 5 years ago, and now a prison escapee. Just relax, Mia. Make small talk and try to relax him. So why did you escape anyway? Eek. I'm sorry. That's gotta hurt his teeth. Ugh, I didn't do nothing. I didn't kill nobody. I didn't say you did. I never lie. I didn't escape from nowhere. What's up with his eye? His left eye, at least left to us, looks like it might have like some cataracts or it's like severely scarred in comparison to the other one. But Mr. Falls, the police just recaptured you 2 days ago. It might have just been how he's drawn in that when he's biting the ball, it just looked like there was something wrong with his eyes. Sorry, I told a little lie. Oh boy. But anyway, I didn't do it. I never killed nobody. Sorry for asking, but you're on death row, right? Okay. Eek, I'm really sorry. Yeah, there goes his eye again. They sentenced me to die 5 years ago, but I was tricked, I tell you. That woman, she lied in her testimony. That's why I got the death penalty. I swear it. I didn't kill her. I could never do that. 2 days ago, he escaped from the police wagon when it crashed. Then about 8 hours later, a policewoman was murdered before the police could recapture him. I'm gonna guess Miles is the prosecutor, considering this was so long ago. The police believe that Terry Falls did it. After you escaped, did you meet a policewoman? Yeah, I did. She's the reason I escaped. So that much is true. He did meet with the victim. But I didn't kill her. She was alive when I left. She was alive. It's true. So we're going with the witness killed her. I can trust him, right? I mean, I should. Ha. Is this Marshall? This looks like Marshall before... It's either Marshall before he did the whole cowboy getup or Marshall's brother. You're not going to figure out the truth by just staring at that guy. Why are you here? Came in to see how our little kitten was doing all alone in the big scary lion's den. Thought maybe you'd like someone to play with. Where's Mr. Grossberg? Ha, that old man's probably still in bed. I bet he's clutching an empty bottle and mumbling in his sleep. Wait, this isn't Godot, is it? Aren't I good enough? After all, it's me, Diego Armando. He better not have changed his name to Godot. I didn't say... So, Diego Armando, the finest attorney at Grossberg Law Offices, is here for me. No, you've got it all wrong. Today, you're the finest. After all, it took an amazing amount of guts to take this case. Imagine, an escaped death row convict for a first client. Yeah, thanks. I sure wish I could get out of it, though. Ha, relax. I just heard some good news. The prosecutor for today is fresh out of his diapers as well. Really? However, unlike a certain somebody who I won't mention, he's earned the reputation as a genius since beginning his law career. Yeah, definitely, Edgeworth. A genius. Well, it's about time to head in, kitten. Sharpen those claws of yours. It's go time. A solitary confinement cell for the condemned must be the world's loneliest place. They really should make it illegal. At least that's my personal opinion. We don't have to talk about it in the comments. And that's what my client ran away from. Every other lawyer gave up on him, but not me. When I saw those overflowing eyes and heard that simple childlike voice, I just had the feeling that he was telling the truth. Well, luckily all of our clients are innocent, so I'm hoping. Yep, there's Edgeworth. Oh, and Diego's my Maya. And this is the Canadian court that we took, what's his face out of? Oswald. His name's not Oswald, but he reminds me so much of Oswald from Gotham, so we're just gonna go with it. Court is now in session for the trial of Terry Flaws. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution has been ready for a while, Your Honor. Okay. I understand the lawyers for both sides are newcomers. Yes, Your Honor. I'm Mia Fey. Miles Edgeworth, Your Honor. So you're the new prosecutor everyone is talking about, eh? They say you joined the prosecutor's office at quite an early age. After 20, Your Honor. At 20. I guess our little kitten hasn't earned herself much of a reputation yet, huh? Is he Godot's brother with the coffee cup? Come on, Mia, you can't lose, not to someone younger than you. Also, this feels like it's going to be like a tutorial-based case, but we're in the middle of a game. Like, the middle of, like, the whole third game in general. So this is interesting how it's, like, set up to be a tutorial trial. You can't lose, not to someone younger than you. Young people running a trial. I'm not too sure how I feel about that. Now then, the defendant in the case is currently a felon on death row. 2 days ago, he escaped from a police wagon. Is that correct? Precisely. But the defendant is not on trial for escaping prison. On the day that the defendant escaped, a policewoman was murdered. So we're here to determine if Mr. Flaws was responsible for her death. You got it, kitten. Why am I asking like I don't know? This is just like Phoenix on his first trial. Well then, Mr. Edgeworth, let's hear our opening statement. Yes, Your Honor. It was 5 years ago. The defendant, Terry Flaws, was sentenced to death in this very court. His crimes were kidnapping, extortion, and murder. The girl he threw off the bridge was only 14 years old. A truly horrible crime. I remember it well. Now I thought someone was shot and then they went over the bridge. There was no decisive evidence, so the trial was long and protracted. Correct. But in the end, what finally decided the case was a certain witness's testimony. A witness's testimony. Seriously, did you not read this guy's file on the previous case? Testimony of Detective Valerie Hawthorne, the person who confronted this criminal, but yet she's dead. Isn't that the victim for this case? I think so. She arrested Mr. Flaws at the scene and later testified against him. She says she witnessed Mr. Flaws throw his young victim into the river. For those who are not aware, Eagle River is well known for its powerful current. Most bodies that fall in are never recovered. Miss Hawthorne's testimony was the one that put him away. That policewoman you just mentioned, that wouldn't be exactly the victim, the same woman that was killed 2 days ago. Police Sergeant Valerie Hawthorne. Aha, I see. The man who was sentenced to death based on her testimony escaped 2 days ago. The only one thing on his mind, to take revenge against the woman who convicted him. The truth is becoming clear to me now. Huh? Yes. Quite obvious that the defendant is guilty. Okay, this felt like a tutorial trial for the judge. Wait a minute, that's not right. At least hear the case before you decide on the outcome, Your Honor. Watch yourself, Miss Faye. I'm not sure I care for your word choice, or your tone of voice, even though she's right. Young people these days simply don't know how to respect their elders. But she was right. Why, you're even younger than me, you hypocrite. Now then, Mr. Edgeworth, please call your first witness. Call the detective who was in charge of the initial investigation of this case. Gumshoe. So, at least we're starting off on an easy witness, I suppose. Witness. Well, actually, usually there's nothing to correct in the statements. Never mind. Witness, state your name and occupation. Gumshoe. Dick Gumshoe. I'm the homicide detective in charge of the case, sir. Finally got promoted to detective division half a year ago. Oh, so he's been a detective for 6.5 years. I don't believe anyone asked you about that. Hey, ma'am, you got any idea how much work it takes? What is it? You're really gorgeous. Excuse me? No, seriously, my heart is aching for you. Detective, pull yourself together and try to be professional. Otherwise, I'll write you up on contempt so quick that something other than your heart will ache. Okay, that was a good one. Okay, I got it. Now, detective, tell us about the incident. Yes, sir. Right away. The victim was Sergeant Valerie Hawthorne, a veteran on the police force. She was stabbed in the back with a knife and died from excessive blood loss. So, it's possible that if our suspect was walking away, he would not have seen this. That much is already stated in the autopsy report. The court will like to hear more details about the incident itself. Yes, sir. I gotcha. Actually, is that exactly what it says in the autopsy report? Died from blood loss between 4 and 5 p.m. Yes, sir. I gotcha. Okay, let's take a look at this aerial map of the area here. This is a sketch of Dusky Bridge, an old suspension bridge. And the river that runs under there is Eagle River. The victim and the defendant met there, on the top of the bridge. After stabbing her in the back, the killer carried the victim back to his car. Why not just drop her in the river? That makes no sense. Especially since you're saying that he's done it before. He was recaptured at a police checkpoint as he was trying to make his getaway, sir. So where was the body found? I see. Bridge located 40 feet above Eagle River. Was the victim's blood found on the bridge? The victim, Sergeant Valerie Hawthorne, was wearing a thick coat, sir. Unfortunately, no traces of blood were found on the bridge. Mr. Edgeworth, I warn you that I absolutely despise conjecture. There was no blood on the bridge, then you have no proof that they even met there. Your Honor, if you would listen to the testimony we have prepared, I'm sure you'll be convinced. The two of them most certainly did meet on the bridge that day. Why, Mr. Edgeworth? Not sure I like you wagging your finger to me as though I was some hoser. Detective, proceed with your testimony. Yes, sir. Here we go, Mia. Hang on. Okay, now, listen carefully, kitten. One little mistake and this guy will drink you for morning tea. Trust me and get ready. Okay, so this is the start of the testimony. On the day of the incident, an unknown person phoned the sergeant and asked to meet. Sergeant Hawthorne went to Dusky Bridge at the designated time and met with Mr. Falls. And that's where she was brutally murdered, sir. The criminal stuffed her body into his car trunk and tried to make a getaway. Mr. Falls was arrested at the police checkpoint we set up at the base of the mountain. How do you know he'd be at the mountain? That doesn't make sense. Someone called her up there, knew he was already there. That makes the most sense. Well, you certainly have established the importance of the bridge. Naturally. Now, would the defense please hurry up and proceed with the cross-examination? Yes, Your Honor. Cross-examination coming right up. Hey, settle down there, kitten. If you keep trembling like that, you're going to make me spill my coffee. Okay, not Godot, and please stop calling me kitten. It is demeaning. I'm not trembling. It's just cold in here. The courtroom can be a cold battlefield, all right, especially for a beginner. I don't need you to worry about me. I mean the defendant, the witness. Everyone's a beginner here. Ha, you got me there. Maybe you should keep your claws out and show them what you got, kitten. Okay, that's gonna get real annoying. It's okay, Mia. Stay calm. Just remember those court procedure videos you stayed up all night watching. Maybe you should have slept instead of watching videos all night. Okay, let me save. On the day of the incident, an unknown person phoned the sergeant and asked for a meeting. Being able to question him on everything feels nice. This unknown person? You have no idea who it might be, right? Sorry, but I'm afraid I do. What? The one who called Sergeant Hawthorne was the defendant, Terry Falls. But what? The defendant? The defendant called her? Sergeant Hawthorne was a very thorough person, sir. She left a note about her phone call with Mr. Falls. A note? Yeah, a top secret memo she left in her desk. February 14th. It's always Valentine's Day with this game. Flaws, 4:30 p.m. at that bridge. Wear a white scarf for identification. Talk to Delilah. Tell her this time the whole truth must come out. So it's possible she would have been there before, and also, who's this Delilah person? Yeah, this sounds like a sneaky little operation. According to this note, it seems the one who called her on the bridge was indeed the defendant, Terry Falls. His idea was it to keep that note from me. The prosecutors. Looks like the judge is even more sure of his verdict now. Listen up, never ask a question if you don't already know the answer. It's that detective's fault. He's the one that said unknown person. Hey now, don't make that face at me. I just said it that way because the prosecutor told me to. Was that a trap? With that cute face, I didn't expect him to be so sneaky. I guess that was expected. Hawthorne went to meet with him at the designated time. That was where she was murdered. You have no proof of that. You literally said you have. Was the body of the victim discovered right away? Yeah, you were really on the ball. We found the criminal within 1 hour of the murder. It was great. We even got to say, "Don't move. We got you surrounded." Wait a second. Isn't there something weird about that? Location was a suspension bridge up in the mountains. So how did they find out about the crime so quickly? Sergeant Hawthorne must have mentioned the phone call to someone else, right? Huh. If that's what had happened, then she wouldn't have been killed. She never mentioned the phone call from Mr. Falls, but she left a note on her desk about it. If only I had noticed it earlier, maybe she'd still be alive. Wonder why she didn't mention the phone call to anyone. I know they say don't, but I'm going to anyways. A bridge up in the mountains, but why meet there? Because it was a very important place to the defendant, and that's why. What do you mean by that? If you remember, 5 years ago, the defendant kidnapped a young girl. He was chased onto a bridge, and it was there that he killed his hostage. And the place where all this occurred is, of course, Dusky Bridge. The very place where Sergeant Hawthorne arrested and handcuffed Mr. Falls. Ha, returning to the scene of the crime. How nostalgic. Try to make a getaway. Mr. Falls had a car then? Well, that bridge is way up in the mountains, ma'am. The defendant and the victim both went up there by car. I mean, how else, right? What? You mean the defendant drove his own car? No, of course not. It was stolen. He stole it from a young couple that had been waiting at a red light. Car thieves. I'm not sure how I feel about car thieves. This guy's sure about how he feels about anything. This is a photo of the stolen car's trunk. Naturally, that's the body of Valerie Hawthorne in there. Whoa, that doesn't look too comfortable. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. I want to look at the photo. So they broke into the trunk. And I guess based on how we're laying, you wouldn't be able to see the stab wound. Alright. The victim, she was stabbed in the back, correct? Yeah. Ha. For some reason, men always seem to get stabbed in the back. We're talking about a woman here. You can't tell this from the photo, but the knife was stuck in her back nice and firm. So that would have prevented pulling. The condition of the body when it was discovered is very important information. Detective, was there anything strange or noteworthy in the trunk of the car? Here's a photo of the trunk. But I don't see anything strange. Do you? That sounded important. Mainly because it was in green text. Mr. Flaws was arrested at the police checkpoint we set up at the base of the mountain. Oh, he changed his testimony. That was why it was green. Crime photo. Let's see, the thing is shot. If the... I don't really see anything strange. There is this mark, like, on, like, the latch that's weird, but I think that's just because of it breaking. I mean, other than maybe she's not in the right clothes. I don't know. Was arrested at the police checkpoint. That certainly is some impressive police work. Well, no, actually it was way too close for comfort. We set up that checkpoint just after 5 p.m. We figured that Mr. Flaws might just try to run. What do you mean it was too close to comfort? The two of them arranged to meet at 4:30 p.m. and it takes approximately 30 minutes to go from the bridge to the checkpoint. That was kind of close. Any later, Mr. Flaws could have slipped right by. Okay, so they were... Okay, yeah, I know there's a trap, so... They were scheduled to meet at 4:30, which meant that she should have gotten there at 4, but she probably would have gotten there earlier because that's just a smart thing to do. And then there's this Delilah person we know nothing about, but was supposed to be told the information. That also means the murder would have been really quick and somehow she got snuck up on a suspension bridge. I don't think so. A trap. Walk into it carelessly and it'll leave more than just a flesh wound. Fun, huh? No, it's not. Well, if you want to have any chance at all, you better get some more information. If you're going to get caught in a trap, it's best to get caught early. You can always look for contradictions afterwards. The ever-famous contradictions. I sure hope I can find some of those. One day... And we learned from the note that that was Mr. Flaws. She went to the bridge at 4:30 to meet with him, or so you assume. That's where she was brutally murdered. The criminal stuffed her body into the trunk. Is it like the lack of blood? What did the defendant have to say about this photo? What he always says, ma'am. I didn't do it. I didn't do nothing. That's all he says. Nothing. I wouldn't say he did it. Did nothing. At the very least, we know he stole a car. It's just what he always says, Your Honor. And then he always says, sorry, I told a little lie. Or something like that. Well, in any case, it seems he was caught and arrested. Precisely. Let's see. Autopsy report, stabbed with a knife, died from blood loss between 4 and 5 rivers, 40 feet up. I think I was supposed to have another car. Who was Delilah? Okay, the way they set up this picture looks weird. Makes me want to say that something's weird about it, but I can't. I don't know. I mean, for him to be found exactly at 5, he would have to show up at like 4:30 and then immediately leave if she wasn't there. Okay, Sergeant Hawthorne went to the bridge. Like, the thing is, we don't know that she met... that's not what I wanted to do. I forget that I can't ask what I want to ask. It was there she was brutally murdered. Was the body discovered right away? Yeah, we were really on the ball. We found the criminal within an hour. It was great. We even got to say don't move. So how did they find about the crime? If that's what would happen, then she wouldn't have been killed. She never mentioned the phone call from Mr. Floss, but she left a note on her desk about it. If only I had noticed it earlier, maybe she will be alive. I wonder, she... Okay, I don't know if this is going to work or not. But my thing is she did tell someone. But I don't know where. Went to the Dusky Bridge. I mean, she's probably not in good clothes. I don't know. I'm gonna try something. It's probably gonna be very wrong, but... yeah, I was wrong. I don't... okay, I don't know what I'm missing. I mean... actually, let me question him on the... what did the defendant... oh crap, that was... my thing is, why is there no blood? Criminals. We don't have very much. Maybe it's the blood loss thing. Probably not. Is it going to make me do something different? I mean, I do see a problem. Okay, that's not the thing, apparently. She died of blood loss, but there's no blood in the car. It's apparently not suspicious. Okay, usually Gumshoe's questioning is not this hard. Oops. And sorry about the sirens in the background. Did I accidentally save? Oh well. I didn't mean to do that. Yeah, I accidentally saved. That's fine. Okay, we actually went to the beginning. That's where she was brutally murdered. I want to ask about the stuffed car. Got a car. Wait. It's a photo of the stolen car's trunk. Wait, I do see. Why is the lock broken? If he stole the car, he... I mean, I do see something strange about the car, but I don't think it'll let me ask. I meet there. Was the victim's body discovered right away? Really on the ball? How did they find crime so quickly? Must have mentioned the phone call to someone else, right? She never mentioned the phone call, but she left a note on her desk about it. Okay, so I literally can't get the note until I ask him about it. I thought I was going to get away with it. Yeah, so you have to walk into the trap in order to get the information. Yes. Let's move on. Okay, now that we've unlocked everything, let me resave it. Alright. On the day of the incident, she got a phone call and was asked to meet. Can I ask who this Delilah person is? Wear a white scarf for identification. Does she have a... She's not wearing a scarf. Witness. At least we're able to get somewhere the second time round. What is it? Do you have something to say, Miss Faye? I'm sorry, I totally forgot what I was going to say. This is the first time I ever had to actually address someone like this. You should have practiced before coming to court. Honestly, Miss Faye, I'm not sure I like this. Say there, little kitten. Want a piece of my coffee candy? Candy? Well, you're still too young to be drinking real coffee. Come on, Mia, shake it off. You're a lawyer. Detective. Yes, ma'am? This photo. You said there was nothing peculiar about it. Is that correct? Yeah, that's what I said. Well then, I suggest you take another look at the note written by the victim. The note? It very clearly says, wear white scarf for identification. Caller must have forgotten what the victim looked like, thus the special request. I have one very simple question for you, Detective. Where is the white scarf? I can't seem to find it in this photo. Well, to be honest, we didn't find it in the trunk, ma'am. And you stopped there. You should have looked for it. I mean, she is right. The caller told her to wear it to identify herself, so I suspect she did just that. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, what do you have to say about that? I see the defense is a little lacking. The scarf you are searching so desperately for, is it this one perchance? That is blue, not white. Where did you find that, sir? On Dusky Bridge. I was there first and decided to conduct my own investigation. Then why would you do that? But why? Why didn't you tell me? I made a decision to keep all pieces of evidence in my personal satchel. That's sketchy as... I don't know what. That's super sketchy. It's the safest place I know. That hotshot sure has flair for the dramatic. It's not exactly white, as the caller requested. But as you can see, it's close enough for what it was intended for. It looks like it spent some time in the mud. Not surprising, it was drizzling on the mountain that day. Prosecutor Edgeworth. he was intentionally hiding the scarf the whole time. The court will accept the scarf into evidence. Worn by the victim at the time of the incident, found on Dusky Bridge. And why is my phone buzzing? Probably to tell me some super important notification about a game that I was playing. I'm going to turn it off. Found on the bridge. Now, if the attorney for the defense is finished embarrassing herself, I'd like to move on with the testimony. That is all right with you, isn't it, Miss Faye? Boy, would I like to wrap this scarf around his swarmy little neck. Very good. Now we're done with this mud-cover scarf business. The prosecution moves to establish conclusively and with hard evidence that Miss Hawthorne and Mr. Floss did indeed meet on that bridge that day. Further, we will show exactly what occurred there. That sounds quite promising. Can't wait to hear all about it. Ugh, everything is moving at his whim. Don't forget, kitten. There is a reason why everyone considers this kid a genius. A genius, huh? Okay, there has to be something. Actually, there's an eyewitness who was there when the incident took place. This photo was accidentally taken by the witness. Okay, so there's the scarf. She's also missing a hat, we see. Also, how did he get away still dressed like that and chained? That makes no sense. But also, we don't know where the hat is. This photo was accidentally taken by the witness. It shows the Vic wearing the scarf, sir. You can't get that perfect of a shot accidentally. It was drizzling that day, unfortunately. It's a little hard to see what's going on. Anyway, the criminal shoved the victim down from behind and stabbed her in the back. That makes no sense. That must have been when the scarf fell off. How would pushing her down? Looking at this photo, you really get the sense that this bridge is very high up. It's about a 40-foot drop from the bridge to the Eagle River down below. Mr. Edgeworth, who took this photo anyway? Let's just say that it was a well-intentioned third party. How about you tell us who this is? Aha, potential witness. So why isn't this person in the courtroom? Well, they said they absolutely did not want to testify. The person in question is very delicate, Your Honor. Besides, as long as we have this photo, we see no reason to compel them to testify. I'm not sure how I feel about that. So, as you can see, Terry Floss had both the motive and the opportunity. I think it's quite clear at this point what happened on that bridge. Aha, the truth is becoming clear to me now. Yes, it's quite obvious. He's clearly guilty. Not again. That's not fair. I haven't even done my cross-examination yet. What do you mean, Okay, this judge obviously does not know how to do their job. Okay, let's save again. Actually, there's an eyewitness. Excuse. Look at the photo again. If he ran at her, he would have stabbed her in the front, not the back. That's what the autopsy says, right? And also the Dusky Bridge. The person from that angle would probably have to be over here, assuming you're on this side of the bridge. But that still doesn't explain why someone, if it was him, who supposedly murdered that girl by throwing her off the river, why she didn't just throw Hawthorne off the river. Like, that just sounds like a setup. And wearing scarves, drizzling. Like, it literally, anyway. My thing is they're clearly facing each other. That makes no sense. Are you... Yeah, you're trying to tell me that she turned her back on him. That doesn't make any sense. So yeah, that doesn't make any sense, so I guess let's press him on everything. So, who is this eyewitness? She's a college student. A female college student. That's right, meaning she's female and a college student, man. She doesn't do well in front of other people, so I came to testify for her. Maybe so, but as the attorney for the defense, I have the right to cross-examine her. For the time being, we're not relying on the witness's statements. That is all. But what is that supposed to mean? The prosecution has other, more decisive evidence. Our case doesn't rest on the vague testimony of a female college student. Female college student, eh? Means she's female and a college student, sir. If you absolutely must hear a testimony, you have to give us a good reason why. Please tell us about the more decisive evidence in question. This photo was accidentally taken. That makes no sense. The victim is wearing a scarf in the photo already. So about the witness who took this photo. What was this person doing all the way up in the mountains? She was taking photos of wildflowers, apparently. There are many unusual types of flora on the mountain, Miss Faye. People in the area say it's because of the spirits that live there. Is it spirits? Now that you mention it, this photo, this cloudy fog-like thing, is it a ghost? I don't believe it. No, it's probably a cloud. No, Your Honor, no. I don't think it's a ghost. It was drizzling that day. Unfortunately, it's hard to see what's going on. Drizzling, huh? That's right. There was a light rain coming down. The whole place was dreary. But not as dreary as the mood that's in this courtroom right now. Haha. Looks like a cold front just moved in. In any case, the point is that the area was quite damp. There was even some fog. I even slipped and fell while I was on the bridge. It was really something. Anyway, the criminal shoved the victim down from behind and stabbed her in the back. Was that part of the witness's testimony as well? Of course it is. He pushed the victim hard in the back and she fell down right on her stomach. I remember that happening once myself. It was really brutal. Brutal? Are you talking about seeing someone get pushed, or were you the one getting pushed? It doesn't mean that you pushed someone down like that once. With his mind-boggling tales and the way he said brutal, I wonder if he's Canadian. Ha. Save your nasty look for the right person. Huh? Take a look. Poor baby. The court record seems to have wet itself. Hey, watch where you spill your coffee. Court record, huh? That must have been when the scarf fell off. So in other words, there was a struggle between the criminal and the victim, huh? That's what the witness said. Well, it looks like she didn't remember about the scarf. But from what she said, it sounded like a pretty violent fight, ma'am. The area was wet from the rain. The bridge was probably wet too. Which would explain why the scarf was covered in mud, but there's something about the testimony that's still bothering me. Heh, talk about a surprise. I had no idea there was a photo. So what do I do? You really still believe him? Mr. Crybaby, I mean? Of course I do. So the little kitten believes in fairy tales, huh? In that case, the answer is obvious. If what you believe is the truth, then what that means that somewhere hidden in that testimony is a contradiction. One huge contradiction waiting to be discovered. That's your chance. Photo was taken accidentally. Let's see. This photo. The victim's note, crime scene photo. This was drizzling. Hard to see. Anyway, the criminal shoved victim from behind and stabbed her in. Okay, okay, honestly, my proof, I still believe that the fact that they were facing each other is the proof I need. And also, how was he supposed to pick her up while chained? Because it's just like, 2, she's missing her hat from behind. Is there a time stamp? No. No time stamp. And we just have to believe that the black and white picture, this is the right scarf. $4.30. Lila. Is there anything I can get from the profiles? Key witness. It's mine. Oh, there's nothing here. It was drizzling that day. Unfortunately, it's hard to see what's going on. Unless I can say instead of doing what I did, saying, hey, the criminal was shoved and I showed the picture, what if I do it here and then say from his position there's no way he could have done that? I don't know. I don't think it's gonna work. No, it's not. We don't have a problem. It was drizzling. It was hard to see what was going on. Oh wait, I think I figured it out. Anyway, stabbed her from the back. If the scarf is muddy, shouldn't her front also be muddy? So at the same time of the crime, there was a light drizzle coming down, correct? Yeah, and fog, too. Just a generally soggy atmosphere. Okay, this case is a real thinker. More so than I thought it would be. But that could just be because I'm stupid. Well, I don't have evidence that doesn't go with the soggy atmosphere. But this is a photo of the victim's body that was found in the car trunk. Considering the conditions at the scene of the crime, something isn't right. Well, by all means, please enlighten us as to what isn't right. What is it about this photo of the trunk that doesn't fit with the conditions of the day? Her front. Naturally, the answer is right here. The victim's coat. As far as I can see, there's nothing strange about it. That's exactly what's strange. Recall the testimony. What were the conditions on the bridge that day? It was drizzling and foggy. Dusky bridge was all wet. If the victim really had fallen down on her stomach on top of the bridge, then the front of her coat should have been covered in mud. That's exactly right. The other day I fell on a muddy street and my gorgeous playoff beard was befouled. I do admit that the crime scene was quite wet that day. However, that doesn't mean the top of the bridge itself was muddy. You just said you found the scarf on the bridge. If Your Honor had fallen in the shower instead of a muddy street, your glorious hockey beard, pride of the legal league, would be wet, but not muddy. Fortunately, I have yet to test that. Still, your point is well taken. Can you prove that the surface of the bridge was muddy that day? The surface of the bridge, huh? Ha, a real man wouldn't stand for a taunt like this. Neither would a real woman. Of course I can. Here's the evidence that proves the surface of the bridge was muddy. You said you found it on the bridge, dum-dum. The evidence is the scarf. Ah, it should be obvious. If the scarf fell onto the bridge and got this muddy, it means the bridge was obviously covered in mud. No, I can't be outwitted by this novice bimbo. Language, Edgeworth. Hey, same to you, buddy. What is with the language of the men in this court case? Ms. Faye's assertion makes perfect sense to me. I do admit there appears to be a contradiction between the condition of the victim's coat and her scarf. However, the real question is, why is there a contradiction? Huh? For every contradiction, there exists an explanation. Let's look at what the explanation of this case may be, shall we? That she wasn't murdered on the bridge. Alright, it's not like he's really giving me a choice here. Ha. You're doing pretty well for a little kitten. Mr. Armando, no matter what he says, a contradiction always comes down to a lie. Is either the victim discovered in the trunk, or the witness's photo showing the defendant and the victim, or the witness's testimony that stated she saw the moment of the murder. Just relax and think it over. It's pretty simple, isn't it? The false evidence. It's one of those three. I'm gonna go with the witness's testimony. What you said just now. Not sure I like that. That wasn't me, Your Honor. That was the coffee aficionado over there that said it. The court is not in the habit of accepting false evidence, you know. Blame it on him, Your Honor. He's the one trying to slip false evidence into court. But we won't let him. We'll expose his evidence as a fumbly scam it really is. Yes, the false evidence in this case is the witness's testimony. It is a no-brainer. Obviously, it's the witness that is suspicious. During his earlier testimony, the detective pointed out a crucial fact. The criminal shoved the victim down from behind and stabbed her in the back. Now, is that the testimony exactly that the witness claims to have seen? Yeah, that's what the witness told us. And we've proven that's false. That testimony is filled with holes. After all, the victim's coat isn't dirty at all. That's true. Ha, it's not just true, it's the truth. If there's a truly decisive witness in this case, I'm certain that boy Wonder over there would have called them in the first place. Your Honor, the defense requests to cross-examine the eyewitness. The testimony presented so far is not only vague, but contradictory as well. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, it appears that we'll need to hear from your mystery witness after all. You should brace yourself for the brutal truth. Your Honor, the prosecution has no intention of hiding the witness from the court. We're prepared to present our witness at any time. Very well. Please bring forth your witness at this time. What Mr. Edgeworth said kinda worries me. What does he mean by the brutal truth? Is it Delilah? Because if her name's Delilah, I'm already suspicious of her. Now, let's proceed with the testimony. Mr. Edgeworth, please go right ahead. Thank you, Your Honor. Prosecution summons the woman who saw the events that day with her very own eyes. This is it, Mia. The battle begins here. Witness, what is your name and occupation? Ugh, it's this chickadee again. I hate her. Everyone is so silent that I can't hear their hearts going pitter-patter. Wait, didn't we not know her in the previous case we had? Oh. When I look at you, how can I put it? You look as scrumptious as a double-double in a dozen donut holes. I feel like I want to hurry up and hand down a verdict just to have a bite. That is gross. Hey, not so fast. Sigh. As I said before, this witness is very sensitive and delicate. She's a sneaky sucker is what she really is. I would ask the court to please exercise care when addressing her. Yes, indeed. Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. You are a true gentleman. Miss Fay, you could learn a lot from this man. If he's such a gentleman, he sure doesn't act like one to me. Sir? Yes, my dear. This is my first time, so I'm sure I'll make a lot of mistakes. Anyway, I just wanted to say I'm sorry for all the trouble I might cause. Not at all. It's no trouble at all. Now then, may we please have your name and occupation? My name is, Melissa Foster. I'm pretty sure her name's Delilah, if I remember correctly. I'm a college student, a freshman in the literature department. Then why are you in the forest looking at flowers? You were on the scene when the unfortunate event occurred, correct? And you were the one who took this photo? Is that accurate? Well, how can you be so mean? I asked you if you took the photo. Now see here, what are you doing shoving that in her face like that? Huh? But it's just a photograph. It's not like it's something dangerous. Next time I'll be forced to penalize you. Uh-oh, I don't like the turn this has taken. Is she staring at me? And you would be? Huh? I'm the defense attorney. My name is Mia Fay. I see. So you are. Now then, young lady, could you please give us your testimony? Yes, Your Honor. I'll do my best. Sure you will. I was using my camera to take some pictures of wildflowers. Then I noticed there were two people standing on the suspension bridge. Suddenly, they started fighting. That's when I hurried and took the photo that shows the crucial moment. And right after that, I called the police. Really? Gumshoe didn't say anything about being called. By the way, where were you standing when the incident occurred? Really, the map would be of help here? I was standing right here. I was standing in a beautiful field surrounded by tall cliffs, which means if she was standing there, Flaws would have had to have been closer to here while our victim was over here. Okay. Because that does change the perspective, because that also means she would have had to have been the same amount of time. So you took the photo from that location, eh? I brought the camera I was using at the time, just like Mr. Edgeworth asked me to. Ho ho ho, what a cute camera, just like its owner. It's small but powerful model. Wait, if that's a tripod, she could have set it up to take a picture at any time. Alright then, Miss Fay, time for your cross-examination. But I warn you, make the witness cry again and you'll feel the wrath of my gavel. I have a feeling we're going to have to load this several times because she'll cry. Because that's just what happens to me, isn't it? My witnesses cry for no reason, and then I'm just like, why are you penalizing me? Did you say wildflowers? Yes, the mountain is famous for its beautiful spring wildflowers. But it's only February. Well, I couldn't wait for spring to come. Ho, I just know how you feel. I bet you do. What's college student witness incident? Okay. It's just like when I first started growing this glorious beard of mine. I just couldn't wait, so I wore a dyed blonde Santa beard until mine grew in properly. Why? Would you mind if you got back to the facts of the case, Your Honor? Then I noticed there were two people standing on the suspension bridge. Was there anything strange about the two of them? I'm a bad girl. I know I am. I looked like they were having a really serious conversation up there, so I decided to watch them, like some kind of peeping Tom. No, not at all. Everyone is like that. I love watching other people fight too. In fact, I can't get enough of it. Actually, that's why I took this job in the first place. Too much info, Your Honor. In any case, it's perfectly natural for you to have kept watching them, especially dressed as they were. Well, anyway, I was watching them very closely. So, you didn't notice anything, is what I heard. Suddenly, they started fighting. You have any idea what they were fighting about? No, I have no idea. Why do you ask that? Oh, I just thought that maybe you overheard what they said. They could have been yelling. Why is she crying? I would never eavesdrop. I've got more class than that. That's right, Miss Faye. Don't drag the witness down to your level. Well, she was watching them. That is perfectly acceptable. Why did you take a photo? Well, the two of them were really going at it. Ever since I was a little girl, I always wanted to be a news reporter. I guess that part of me just kind of took over. Smells like a lie to me. Yes, I understand completely. Even now, I can't completely abandon my boyhood dreams. I still use my grandson to test my comedy routines on. So you wanted to be a comedian, huh? Not that it has any bearing on this. All I could do was use my camera. So I took the photo of the crucial moment and gave it to the police. And right after, I called. You called the police? Yes, because it looked to me like the murderer was going to try and escape. We were already moving before the call even came in. Thanks to the victim's note, we had already started our operation. That was certainly tough luck for the criminal, eh? Terry Flaws isn't the criminal. Then there must be something strange in this girl's testimony. Be careful, kitten. That girl has the judge wrapped around her little finger. You're going to have a tough time poking holes in that testimony of hers. You're going to have to come up with something real good, Mia. Seems to have been taken, so it wasn't accidentally. She died between 4 and 5. Her location. If she was right there, then yeah, that part of the bridge would definitely be in her camera photo. Don't I know her? Like, her real name is Delilah, isn't it? But also, how did she get there? There must be a car. Worn by the victim. Also, from how they're standing, it seems to mean that Hawthorne would have been there first. Also, they're just standing there. Oops. Also, yeah, this is a really good shot of people fighting. You're just standing there. Witness, when you said you took a photo of the crucial moment, is this what you meant? All I can see in this photo are two people facing each other. You testified that you saw the two of them starting to fight? Normally, that's the kind of thing we refer to as a crucial moment. Why haven't you presented a photo like that? But, well, you see, the photo we presented was the only one there was. But if you really wanted to capture the crucial moment, then what happened next? You must have taken a photo of it. My apologies, young lady. But Miss Faye's assertion is not without a certain amount of merit. He can certainly downplay a situation, can he? I'm sorry. I'm a very bad girl. I used it all up. The film, I mean. It's a digital camera. That is a digital camera, my girl. You ran out of film? This photo was the last one. What? Then you didn't start taking a photo at the crucial moment. Unfortunately, that is the truth. I personally examined all the photographs she took that day. All the other photos are of the witness herself playing among the wildflowers. Then who took the photo? The witness herself? Then who took the photos? Well, you see, my camera has a timer feature built into it. So you took photos of yourself? I remember taking some photos of myself once too. Please, no details. Seems that Miss Faye's assertion was not so decisive after all. Wait, just a minute. Well, if she had more film left, she couldn't very well take more pictures, eh? Miss Foster, perhaps then you could tell us about a different sort of photo? Photos of the incident that you took with your very own eyes? Mr. Edgeworth, you're quite the poet. Very well then, let's get back to the cross-examination. Let's hear your thoughts on the fight that you witnessed. Yes, Mr. Judge. Boy, this guy is really a sucker for sweet talk. Ha. It looks like the other kitten in the room is the one that's getting all the attention. Yeah, it's sickening. But that can't just be me who's saying that looks like a digital camera. Let's see. Actually. Okay, so this is added to the testimony, I suppose. Taking some pictures. Fighting. The victim tried to run away, but she only got 10 yards before she was stabbed in the back. You're gonna have trouble. Okay, so this is just a continuation. How was she running if it was wet? Oh. The victim, why do you think she tried to run away? With her police training, she certainly knew better than to turn her back on a criminal. My point exactly. That has been my point this entire time. This is a large, powerful man with a knife. If it had been a quaggy woman like you, I'm sure she would have acted differently. Or maybe she should have just shot him. Quaggy? Why you? If it had been me, I probably would have jumped into the river. There's still something wrong with this testimony. She only got about 10 yards before she was stabbed in the back. The problem is the localization. Okay, she only got 10 yards before she was stabbed in the back, which means she didn't fall. So you're saying Sergeant Hawthorne wasn't able to get away from him? Well, it's a narrow bridge and it was swaying back and forth. If you ask me, both of them were in danger of falling off. I only wish I could have done something to help her. That seems to make sense. Wonder about that. Something seems kind of off. Ha, does it now? You gotta have a good sixth sense. When you feel that something's off, that's when you need to figure out why. Terry Falls isn't the criminal. I mean, Tonight noticed two people. They started fighting. I mean, she told us it was a timer, so... Oops. My thing is, the bridge is broken, so there was nowhere for her to run. Oops. I forget that's the end every single time. I'm going to present the bridge. Oops. Witness, your testimony is a joke. Huh? What? But I just... Miss Faye, I thought I warned you not to make the witness cry. One short testimony and two bad contradictions. There's no possible excuse. You say there were two contradictions? It's simple. Just take a look at the diagram of the area. According to her testimony, the two of them were in the middle of the bridge. But if they were, and the victim had turned around and tried to run, well then, she would have hit a dead end. You said 10 yards, but she couldn't have even ran even 5, because Dusty Bridge is collapsed on that side. What does all this mean? It's very simple, Your Honor. This charming little witness told a charming little lie. That's all there is to it. Grr. This beautiful young lady has been lying to the court? Just a moment, Your Honor. Mr. Edgeworth. Your Honor, allow me to personally apologize for the confusion. What do you mean? There's one major mistake in this diagram. What did you say? What are you referring to? It's all because this diagram was made after the incident occurred. It's a very old bridge. We couldn't find any official blueprints of it. So you're saying... I'm saying that even though the bridge is currently in disrepair, there's no evidence that can prove that the bridge was broken during the incident. That's ridiculous. You can actually tell the condition of the bridge from this photo. I apologize to the court for not being clear when I presented the evidence. Well, there's land underneath the bridge in that area. You should have been able to find the pieces of the bridge. There's an easy way to prove that's not true. Huh. That guy is good. Huh? What do you mean? He planned it from the beginning. He's a genius, alright. The diagram of the bridge was his insurance policy. What? The coward. Well, Miss Faye, seems you've once again made a reckless accusation. I'm so sorry. I should have been more careful myself. No. It wasn't your fault at all. Now then, shall we go on with this trial? I'd like to establish, once and for all, what it was the witness actually saw. Indeed. Alright, young lady. May I ask you to please proceed with your testimony? But so hard to go on. We're all on your side, Miss Foster. There's no need to worry. Just tell us what you saw. Yes, sir. After he stabbed her in the back, he quickly picked her up in his arms. Then he carried her over to the car. Suppose that was the only way he could make sure the body stayed hidden. He couldn't just leave the body on top of the bridge. Oh, I'm sorry. I only supposed to talk about what I saw. Witnessing such violence must have been difficult. Yes, sir. I'm still shaken up. If he accepts his testimony as it is, we're finished. But don't say that. Oh, well, maybe I'll stop off at my favorite cafe on the way home. They make a real great mocha latte. The trial isn't over yet. Ha. That's what I like to hear. All right, Miss Faye. A cross-examination, if you please. Contradiction is staring you right in the face, Mia. Go on the attack. The fact that he should have just dropped her body in the river? Another thing that I've been saying this entire time. After he stabbed her in the back, he was shackled. Are you saying that the victim didn't fall down on the bridge? Actually, maybe she did fall. Of course she didn't fall down on the bridge. If she had fallen down, this photo wouldn't make any sense. Darn it. If that was the case, her coat would have been all muddy. If you don't mind, I was asking the witness. No need to be so rude. Well, young lady? Of course she didn't fall down. The man in the prison uniform grabbed her before she could. Ha. We're one step too slow. And then, what did the defendant do after that? Edgeworth being a dummy. Then he carried her over to the car. You personally witnessed that? Yes. Did anything strange happen when he did that? Well, I don't know if you call it strange or not, but that's when the victim's scarf fell off. You mean this scarf? Her words match what we found at the scene. I don't see any problem. It was the only way. You mean the defendant carried the body all by himself? Yes. Considering the size of the defendant, I don't think it would be difficult. Yes, but let's remember they were on a narrow bridge that was ready to collapse. Is it even possible for him to have carried a dead body on a bridge like that? Well, the fact of the matter is that he did. That kind of talk is just silly. Wow, why did he get so emotional all of a sudden? Miss Faye, if you think there's some other possibility, please share it with the rest of us. Couldn't it just leave the body on top of a bridge? Why do you say that? It's already a broken down bridge hidden away in the mountains. Doing anything more to hide a corpse would be overboard, wouldn't it? Yes, but that mountain is famous among hikers. Surprising number of people go up there. But it's February, right? And it was raining that day, correct? There's also a small temple and a channeling dojo there. You know those monks, they just love cold, isolated places. I think the witness is trying to say that the corpse would have been found at any time. Besides, the witness is merely reporting what she witnessed with her own eyes. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm supposed to talk about only what I saw. I'm going to question. And you're absolutely certain it was my client who was carrying the body? Well, he's wearing a prisoner's uniform, but as for his face... So you're saying you didn't get a clear look at his face? Well, they were far away and it was raining as well. I thought I was only supposed to say exactly what I saw. Excellent. You're a remarkably honest young woman. Something about this testimony is bothering me. Hey kitten, have you ever put salt in your coffee? No, why would I? Why not? Huh? It may actually go better with coffee than sugar, right? Listen, my point is if you're not sure, you might as well add a ton of salt to it. It might bring out the rust in something, like a piece of evidence. By the way, I wouldn't put salt in my coffee. The two don't go well, after all. After he's... Can I bring up... Oh crap. Let's see, present. Okay, my thing is that it was a suspension bridge. Couldn't he have just thrown her over? The killer not wanting his victim to be found, I can understand that. However, the idea of moving the body for that purpose is clearly odd. There was a much easier way to make sure the body wasn't found. Well, what is it? Take another look at the map of the area, and you'll see how. There's a river right below the bridge. Earlier, Mr. Edgeworth pointed out something interesting about the river. For those who are not aware, Eagle River is well known for its powerful current. Most bodies that fall in are never recovered. Ah. In the kidnapping case 5 years ago, the victim's body was carried away and never found. If 10 murders were to occur at the same spot above the Eagle River, you can bet your boots that every other killer would have tossed the body in the water. Order, order, order. I'm not sure if I care for the way you put that, Miss Fay, but I must admit it does seem odd to not have thrown the body into the river. Oh. Well, Mr. Edgeworth? How sad. Perhaps Miss Fay would do well to try and take a dip in the river herself. After all, you claim to be such an expert in the ways of nature. What are you talking about? My point is, no matter how odd you may find the killer's method of body disposal, the fact is that this is what the killer did. None of your arguments have anything to do with what the witness saw. Quite true. Miss Fay, it seems that your assertion is without merit after all. But what the witness claims to have seen is totally ridiculous. Surely you can't deny that the body was found in the trunk of the car. That's certainly consistent with what the witness has told us. Ugh. Please, witness, go on with your testimony. I'll try. All you have to do is tell us only what you saw. Otherwise, the mean lady might yell at you again. Who is he talking about? Alright, I'll do my best. Is this another one, please? Then he carried her over to the car. From where she was standing, she would not have been able to see that either. You're on it, but I think... From where she was... broke into the trunk of the car. Crap. I think it would have been this one. Oops. What do you mean? What did the man do then? Naturally, I said to myself I had to call the police, and that's when you called the police. You're sure you saw all that with your own eyes? Yes, I'm 100% certain. Well, you didn't. This entire case is just, hey, this is not possible based on this map. Well, Miss Foster, it looks like you've done it this time. Done what? Made a crucial mistake. A crucial mistake? Like what, Miss Fay? The killer broke into the trunk of the stolen car and hid the body in there. You're saying you saw that, right? With your very own eyes? Yes, and? It's simple, Miss Foster. Take a look at the diagram. The place you claim to have taken a photo from that day is here. Do you see what I mean? Even if you tried to see the car, this outcropping of rock is directly in the way. That's right, Miss Foster. From where you were standing, you could not have possibly seen the killer's car. I admit the diagram shows a large outcropping of rock. However, it isn't so tall that it would stop her from seeing the car. That's right. It's not high at all. I was able to see his car just fine. That makes no sense. I'm so sorry, but that just doesn't wash. I believe it was the witness who presented this evidence to the court, yes? This is the location that the photo was taken from. Your own photo tells the whole story. You can clearly see the left side of the bridge, but the outcropping that it's referring to is really more like a cliff. Ah. Your view should have been completely cut off by this cliff, but still you claim to have been able to see the killer's car? Order in the court. What is the meaning of all this balhooey? Your Honor, don't jump to any hasty conclusions. The fact that the escapee fled in a stolen car was reported on the news, but not that he broke into the trunk. After witnessing a murder, I'm sure you can appreciate that the witness was very upset. She must have heard about the stolen car and convinced herself that she saw it. But the broken trunk thing. But she was repeatedly warned before stating her testimony. She was told to testify only about what she saw with her own eyes. Oh, Mr. Judge? What is it? I think I must have remembered things wrong. Hey, wait a minute. You can't just say that. Miss Faye, no one on the face of the planet is perfect. Yes, indeed. Quite true. You know what they say? To err is human, to forgive divine. I'm inclined to give the benefit of the doubt to our witness here. What? That's not fair? That still doesn't explain the broken lock. Save the tears for later, kitten. Mr. Armando, don't look back until the trial is over. Now's the time to go forward. But that wasn't fair. Okay, kitten, you need to relax. Then you need to remember, life's not fair. The other kitten's testimony. The killer broke into the trunk of the stolen car and hid the body in there. So tell me, how did she know that? How did she know that he broke into the trunk? Aha. Well, Miss Foster, until you can explain how you knew that, we're going to have a lot of very suspicious people on this side of the courtroom. Oh well, witness. Well, I'm certain that he broke into the trunk because there were marks left on the trunk lid. How do you know that? I'm certain they were scratch marks from when he broke into it. What? Let me see that photo. It's true. These certainly look like scratch marks around the keyhole. It's obvious that this trunk has been broken open. Well, Miss Faye, are you satisfied? Judge is on her side. I can't make any mistakes here. Was she... It doesn't... How would she have known? Melissa Foster, it looks like you finally betrayed yourself. What? You said you were in a field taking photos of wildflowers, but even so, you knew about the scratches. The question is when. When did you get a chance to see those scratches? Exactly. Finally. I finally got her. I'm getting pretty tired of waiting over here. And perhaps it would be faster, Miss Faye explained herself. Your Honor, there's only one possible explanation. The reason the witness had seen the scratches was... No, they have... Yeah, putting the corpse on herself. There's only one way the witness had a chance to see the scratches. Yes, what is it? Naturally. When she opened the trunk and stuffed the corpse in herself. The person who really hid the body in the trunk of that car was Melissa Foster. It was you that did it, wasn't it? That's ridiculous. I could never. It was the man in the prison garb. He's the one that... I don't think so, Miss Foster. Mr. Flaws had been the one to put the corpse in the trunk. He would have simply used the car key. There was no need to break it open. But he stole the car. He stole it from a young couple that had been waiting at a red light. Which means that the key would have still been in the ignition. Oh, I see. Do you? Thank you for telling us about the scratches, Miss Foster. Without that, we never would have uncovered the truth. That it couldn't have been Mr. Flaws that put the body in the trunk. Preposterous. Do you even suggest that the witness put the body in there? If that were true, then how do you explain the photo that she took? The corpse could only have been put in the trunk when the incident occurred. We already know that at that time she was taking photographs. The timer component. Now is your chance, Mia. Finish this thing. On the contrary, I'm not so certain about that anymore, Mr. Edgeworth. There's no need to think too deeply about it. What I'm saying is the shutter for this might not have been pushed by Miss Foster herself. Let's take another look at this camera and see what features it has, shall we? It has a timer built into it, even a mini tripod. Why? It's almost as if he brought this camera just to take this picture. What are you trying to say then, Miss Faye? That when the crime occurred, Miss Foster wasn't in the field as she claimed? Well, she really did use the camera's auto timer. And the answer is yes, she was somewhere else. Exactly, she was not in the field. Don't ask me where. Would the defense please explain further? Listen, this is a crucial point. Where was Miss Foster when the incident occurred? And answering that question will also make it clear that Miss Foster's true identity. Well then, please answer this question. Where was Melissa Foster when the incident on the bridge occurred? I mean, in order for her to know about, she would have had to have been here. Naturally, the witness was right here, I think. In the spot where the defendant's car was? Yes, she had to put the body in the trunk before the defendant returned. You don't mind if I ask one teeny-weeny question, do you, Miss Faye? Uh-oh, he's got that condescending tone of voice. If she put the body in the trunk at the time, as you suggest, that must mean that Valerie Hawthorne was already dead at that point, correct? Indeed. Please take a look at the top of Dusky Bridge. Am I mistaken? Mountain is famous for spirits, so do you think it was a ghost of the victim? This is why I wanted to save. Let's see if I can save. Oops. Anyway. I'm certain more or less. Well then, please answer this question. I didn't mean exactly the car, I meant like this. She had to have been in this general area. Her being on the other side does not make sense. Especially if the victim didn't fall. Naturally, the witness was standing right here. Well, what do you think, Mr. Edgeworth? Before pointing out where the witness was standing, Miss Faye should do something herself. She'll check out where she stands, if she catch my drift. Oh, don't worry, the drift was certainly caught. Yes, failure is a... okay. Wait, was she on the bridge herself? In order for her to have stabbed the woman in the back, she would have to have been back here. Actually, wasn't standing right here. Well, what do you think? No. When the incident occurred, the only thing I can come up with was that she would have had to have been around this area. Because somehow she would have had to have gotten this shot without being in the view. So... I mean, she could have been here. Knocked? No, that doesn't make sense. mean, something that could make sense was as the killer walked away, she stabbed him. Where could she have been? Okay, so for her to have known about the scratch marks on the bridge, she could not have been in this area, which leaves this entirety of the map. And she could not have been behind the victim, or else her camera would have seen it. And I imagine, and we're also assuming that this bridge was already out and not believing a word he says. That would give us behind the... Don't give us behind him, right? Nope. Okay, this is actually... I'll be right back once I actually find the location. I'm probably just gonna end up clicking around randomly, but I'm gonna hope it works. Okay, so this time I got a yellow cursor when I clicked in this area. So apparently me having my pointer too close to the car was wrong, but me having it slightly further away from the car was right. Like, I still feel like this entire general area should have been. So I was clicking around for nothing, because I was in the right area the entire time. It was just a matter of whether the game liked where it pointed. So yeah, that is my frustration with the game right now. What do you think? Before pointing out... Oh, I might have been wrong. Okay, no. I'm gonna look this up, because I'm completely lost, and I am not afraid to say that. And I will also be going back, so that I can get my life back, because I don't know if I need it, or, let's see. Alright. Okay, so let's go load this back up to where we were. Okay, so this walkthrough says to say that Melissa Foster was on this green V line. Naturally, the witness is right here, but that's where the victim, Miss Hoffman, was standing. Order, order, order. Miss Faye, what on earth? Your Honor, if I may. After parting with the victim on the bridge, the defendant fled by car. But this would mean that there was no time to put the victim in the trunk. In other words, as someone put the body in the trunk, it could only have been before the defendant met the victim. Then how did she break into the car? How asinine. Of course Mr. Flaws met with the victim. The only person with the opportunity to have put the victim in the trunk. The same man that killed her, Terry Flaws. You still don't understand, do you, Mr. Edgeworth? By the time the witness's photo was taken, the victim was already dead. The person in the photo was not Valerie Hawthorne. I mean, we suspected that, so are you now saying that it was I mean, we do know we can't really see the person's face in the photo, but we have no proof that it's not her. What? I never heard anything more ridiculous in my entire life. Then who exactly is the victim in this photo? It's obvious, isn't it? It's your own witness. What? It's the only possible explanation. The woman that Mr. Flaws met on the bridge that day was not Valerie Hawthorne. It was you, Melissa Foster. Me? Let's remember that it was rainy and foggy on the mountain that day. Mr. Flaws himself believed that the woman in front of him was Valerie Hawthorne. But the defendant knew Valerie Hawthorne very well. After all, she was the woman whose testimony helped get him convicted, except he told her to wear a scarf. But since then, my client has spent 5 hard years in a federal penitentiary. Couldn't remember exactly what she looked like anymore. You're just making this up as you go along. Where's your proof? Got it all right here. This piece of evidence will blow this case wide open. At the time of the incident, Mr. Flaws had forgotten what she looked like, because she asked her to wear a scarf. Mr. Flaws had forgotten the victim's face. That's why he needed some piece of identification, namely this muddy scarf. It was Mr. Flaws who requested that she wear the scarf to identify herself. That's already been proven by the note the victim left. In other words, as long as you were wearing a scarf like he asked, anyone could have pretended to be Valerie Hawthorne. Also, that does also give her the perfect way to time the timer if she was in fact pretending to be there. Okay, that makes sense now that I've thought about it more. Well, what do you have to say to that, Melissa Foster? Oh, she's gonna scream no. Did she fall? Sounded like she fell. Where's Miss Foster? She's collecting herself in the lobby. It's obvious that Melissa Foster did it. She hid the body in the trunk and disguised herself as the victim. She set up the camera to snap the fake photo of them together. The only question is, why did she do it? Well, isn't that obvious? She's the real culprit. Huh. Well, we'll have to wait for Miss Foster to compose herself before we start again. Until then, this court is in recess. The defense and the prosecution are both to wait in their respective lobbies. Yes, Your Honor. Understood. Very well. This court is in recess. That was a very interesting case, because, I mean, like, the player, knows she's Delilah because of the case, I believe it was the last game? Yeah, I believe it was the previous game where, Phoenix is up for murder. A murder trial that she is, in fact, Delilah. So I guess the next case will be proving that she is in fact Delilah, because Delilah was the only person who should have been able to tell about it. But that still doesn't explain how the body got into the car. Because if we're going with... Because the way it's set up, the way that we're seeing the bridge and is that... I'm just going to call her Delilah, because I'm pretty sure she's Delilah. Delilah would have had to go to the bridge first in order for her to be farther out there, which means that while Flaws was walking away, she somehow had to break into the car and stash the body in the car and somehow not have him notice, unless he was there a full half hour early in his car and was just randomly walking around. Like, we understand how. I'm just not clear on like the time frame as to what happened between the victim was killed and how, with Flaws walking away, Delilah was somehow able to put Hawthorne's body in the trunk without him noticing, unless Flaws was totally captivated by Delilah, that he just went along with something and did as she said before, and then like agreed to drive off with the body. There's like something about that small time frame that doesn't really make sense to me. But I am going to assume we'll figure it out next time, and I will see you guys then. Bye.